All right. Let's. Alrighty. Move some of the clubs and that out of the way. Right.
The flatter ones.
Going to be sort of quickish with this. Farmers walks don't take long, but there's some important points I want to talk about them and some cool variations that you can do. Farmer walks. Right. My thought process on farmers walks there is 3 ways. You got by your side in that suitcase version, that's your heaviest. The rack is medium. Overhead being the hardest is your lightest because it's the hardest movement to do. Now the cool part out of farmers walks going with this, don't just think one in each hand, side by side, going that way. Go rack, go overhead, change, move multiple different things because you're challenging the body in a far greater fashion. So when you are doing your walks, tall, keep the top of your hips tilted back so you've got that full proper engagement of your core and a controlled movement through. It's not about trying to shrug and be half bent over and going as fast as you possibly can, and this is different to strong man because they're picking up like hundreds of kilos a side, but still if you're trying to do it, like even if you're going for speed, you're still trying to keep good posture as you're going through with it because it makes it a boatload easier to stay stable. When all the joints and everything are out of place, the exercise is unnecessarily difficult for no benefit. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean there is benefit. You've got to ascertain that as you're going through. So if I was coming along on a single sort of farmer's walk, I'm trying to keep myself nice and stable, not leaning or counteracting too far that way, and trying to stay as stable as I can through it. So going slower and more deliberate with my steps makes it a lot more difficult. If I wanted to increase my challenge, you can, as you're going through, have one up and one down, or the same thing from your rack position. If you're going to do double rack, it's in tight. Please don't walk around like that. You don't need to. That's not a rack position, right? And you've always got to counterbalance in a really bad way. Even if you were trying to keep that stable, that's really, really bad. I feel that through my rib cage in a really bad way, like that's compressing down. As soon as I bring that in, I can now have a comfortable conversation with you. So always your rack position is what we've been drilling all day. It's in tight by your side. Imagine you got $50 bill between your elbow and your side on both arms. You lose either of them, I own it. The incentive there, and most of the time people keep their elbows in tight if they're thinking in that terms because money's hard to come by. And your own people will do the same, so they've got to be in tight. And up tall, concentrate on your steps, make them deliberate. So hop up and try those. So by side, rack, overhead, mix them up.